Welcome to Leadership Matters, a podcast from the Bailey Group. I'm your host, Kaylee Thomsen, president of and partner at the Bailey Group, where we believe better leaders create healthier workplace environments, healthier humans, and a better world. On this show, we explore real stories, practical insights, and honest conversations to help you lead yourself and others better. Thanks for joining us. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Leadership Matters. I'm your host, Kaylee Thomsen, and today I'm joined by Chris Meidt. Chris is president and CEO of North Risk Partners, one of the top independent insurance firms in the Midwest. Under Chris's leadership, he's grown North Risk Partners to over 450 employees and 27 offices to be one of the top 50 independent insurance firms nationwide. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start with one of the things I appreciate about you is your kind of eclectic background, I would say, and 2 decades of coaching football. And so I'd love to kind of go back in time to how did you find yourself in the world of football and then in the world of corporate America?
Yeah, eclectic's a good term. Prior to 2014, my wife would have said a series of unrelated cul-de-sacs is a better description of my life. But my dad was my high school football coach, but he was also my choir director. He was also superintendent, also community ed director. So I grew up thinking I can do anything. Like I really don't have to be limited. So some people grow up thinking I'm going to be one thing and that's what I'm going to do my whole life. And that was never a thought. I just loved football. I loved every aspect of football. So everything I did was so I could coach football and play football. And so as I went through college at Bethel, wonderful experience. I played football by sang in the choir. I was able to coach at Columbia Heights High School in the midst of it. So I was able to do a lot of things. Didn't think that was unique. Didn't realize no one else actually did that.
Yeah.
Married an incredible wife and promised her, don't worry, honey, I'm not going to be a football coach. I promise. Her dad was a Hall of Fame football coach.
Oh, really?
Well, then Bethel called and I came back as offense coordinator. I said, don't worry, short term, 3 years, and I'll go back to business. Then 7 years later, I got the head job at St. Olaf. And by then she kind of figured out the deal. So I'm 32, a very young head coach. We have a great, beautiful young family. So we moved to Northfield and that was it. I thought that was game over, done. I'm 32. I'll be there for 32 years, but the Lord had different plans. And sometimes you have to trust that the Lord's plans can be better than yours. And so we had a chance to go to the NFL and it's hard not to do that when you have a chance. Yeah. So I went and coached quarterbacks for the Washington Redskins for 2 seasons. 2007 was my last year at St. Olaf. Okay. So 2008, 2009 with the Washington Redskins with Dan Snyder. You learn a lot about culture. And then we get let go like everyone did with Dan Snyder. And I couldn't find a football job. You talked about some of the dips in leadership and highs and lows. I couldn't get a job. I had 3 or 4 jobs that done deal. They told me you're the guy, the offer's coming, and it never came. And I'm 39, 40 years old at the time. And I remember thinking, Lord, what is this that you have for me? And I had some great mentors in my life. I still do. And really felt like we were being called out of football. And so took a job running Eastern Wisconsin for Walmart. One of my St. Olaf alumni were running half of Walmart at the time. Great friend, great mentor. So I had a great experience there. The first 2 years, amazing. The next 2, they gave me all of the East Side, including Milwaukee, which is a hard survival. They brought in about 40 people from outside of the business at the time, and I was the last one standing 4 years later.
Wow.
So it was time to go. So I'm 44 now, and I'm, what's next? Yeah. And my twins are juniors in high school at Cedarburg, and Maddie's a freshman at Bethel. And so it was really a interesting time. You're 44, and you're kind of thinking, I probably should get a job again pretty soon. So I met people after people, including some good insurance friends that have become great friends of mine. Allie and I were just referring to. So it was really a neat time of life. And then sure enough, a good friend from back in the day, Barry Cornamone, he's a partner at North Risk. He's SVP for commercial lines for us, said, hey, we got this little thing started and we just merged these. We could use some help. Would you just come and meet with us? And 2 months later, Rick Miley hires me as chief operating officer. And then About a few months later, Rick says, you're going to be our next CEO.
Wow. What was it about that opportunity that made you feel, I'm thinking back to the crossroads of your life and trying to figure out what's next for you. How did you know that that was the right direction to go?
Well, I knew that I was ready to run a company. Mm-hmm. I had been an assistant coach. I'd been at all these different places, incredible experiences. Walmart is a PhD in multi-unit management. And, I had thousands of employees. And so I had every HR situation known. And what I learned was I'm ready to run a company. I understand my core values, how I'm going to run it.
Yeah.
We're going to be a servant leadership model. It's the oldest model and probably the most successful model of all time. So we're going to serve others. We're going to serve our clients. We're going to serve each other. I want our culture to be a place where people are authentically the best version of themselves. They don't have to be me. I am a hardcore conservative Christian with strong views and strong beliefs. I don't want everyone to agree with me. I want them to be them. But our arena is one where you create trust by having challenging conversations. They have to be kind and respectful. They can't be personal. So my commitment is we're going to be different inside our walls than everything that's outside our walls. In fact, I encourage people to talk about faith, talk about politics, talk about all of these things of the day, because that's what healthy organizations do. It's what healthy families do. If you don't talk about it, that's where it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And so teaching people how to have that engaging conversation. And if you could do that, guess what? We could talk about business decisions pretty easily. It's just, we're going here or there. So that's why I felt like I was ready to run a company. I was company agnostic. I met with box companies. I met with paper companies. I met with so many great people. I met with M&A firms. So I just still feel as the Lord had a hand in this, the right time, right place, right skill set, right people.
Okay. Wow. That belief of, I really hear a leaning into conflict, not just being open to it, but actually leaning into it. Where does that belief come from, Chris? And has that been something that you've always upheld, or is that something you realized over time, we got to not avoid. We need to get it all out there. We need to engage.
Yeah. Shortly after coming on board, Kate McGinnity was Link Communications. She goes, Chris, I think we're going to brand you and brand our company as face risk head on. Because that's all you're going to do. So if I try to say we're going to be something else, it's not going to work, because it's what you are. I remember being a little kid. We were kitty corner from the high school. We were in Rothsay, Minnesota. And I would walk across at noon so I could play kickball. I would just walk in the middle of it and just start playing. Well, then the teacher calls eventually. Well, Chris is 5. He can't come to the playground and play kickball anymore. Wow. I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
I walked right into it, no fear. I like kickball. Why can't I play kickball? It's kind of never left that I'm going to walk right into it. I'm going to face it head on. My mom put confidence in me as a little boy that, through Christ, anything is possible. And so that became really a cornerstone of me never wavering.
Yeah. Wow. So you've led North Risk Partners for a dozen years now at this point. And I know you and I have talked about the growth that the organization has undergone during that time. Can you talk a little bit about what did the organization look like when you started there, and how did you grow it so tremendously?
Yeah, again, I would say I was clear in my vision of what we're going to be and how we're going to operate. One thing I'm really good at is attracting talent. And I have an instinct and understanding when someone's good. I don't care necessarily about your resume. I don't care if you've had previous experience in this area. I care about what you're made of, how quick, how intelligent are you? How do you interact with groups? Are you a team player? Are you tough enough to fight through the tough stuff? And once you start seeing those and start attracting talent, then I figure out where they fit. As a football coach, your job is to get your best 11 on the field on every play. And your left tackle skill set is fundamentally different than your tailback skill set. So don't try to put your tackle at tailback. Don't put your running back at center. Figure out where they're great and then give them some blue sky to grow into. So my philosophy has been attract talent. And I pull talent in from all over the place. We've had 6 or 7 executive hires, all of them home runs. But I knew them. I trusted them. I believed them. They knew what they're getting into with me.
Yeah.
So they can't say, well, I didn't know he's like this. Yeah, you did. For better or worse, you know exactly how I am. So I think that attracting talent and the coaching background of how talent utilization, there's never a perfect play, ever. You could drop the best play. If you have players out of position, it will fail. And I learned that from Dad early. Player utilization. He was a military guy. Chain of command is critical, but then utilization of who you have is as critical.
Wow. Fascinating. So it sounds like talent acquisition, player utilization. What were some of the other ingredients, Chris?
Great support. So again, we have an incredible partner on our capital side, which again, I walked into, I had no idea. I couldn't have told you the difference between publicly traded, private equity, pension fund, private capital, family cap. I had no idea. None of it. I just happened to walk into the best model that exists. Pension funding through Broad Street, a great corporate partner. They're like a Berkshire Hathaway model. So I walked into this where they're going to give me complete autonomy to run the company how I wanted. Who else would do that? They could say a failed football coach, a failed retail guy, but hey, here's the keys. And here's a few $100 million. Go build a company. So again, I would say the Lord's hand in it, right place, right time, right skill set, right drive. I love winning. I love my team winning. I snowplow for them so they have every opportunity to go win.
Yeah.
I mean, so you bring those together again in the right culture where people are free to be themselves, best version, within a few little riverbanks. But my riverbanks are pretty wide. And I want you to go fast. So it's just, if you get out on the riverbank, I'm going to kick you back in. But people have a lot of autonomy to be themselves.
Yeah. You talk about this coaching mindset that you really bring to leadership. And I'd love to hear how you use that to help grow them into their best selves.
Yeah, great question, because it's probably what I think is a failure of leadership often. When you're mentoring someone and coaching them, you either have to praise it or correct it. Silence is the killer. Letting people work through a week, a month without any feedback is just such a failure. I was driving over here with our head of communications, and we hit on a couple topics, 2 minutes worth, but we need to start thinking about. That's coaching. You coach every chance you get, every day, every way. And I would say 80, 90% of my coaching is really positive, really reinforcement of great decisions, great behavior, or great rebound. You failed quickly, so get back up and let's go. We don't have time to wallow.
Yeah,
we don't. And I ripped off the rearview mirror. I can't even see what's behind me. All I know is where we're going and what's ahead. And again, too many people are busy covering for something. We don't cover. We clean it up and we move on. If you have the right people, you can do that. If you don't have the right people and you're always questioning their decisions and what happened behind you, it's either you or it's them.
Yeah,
but it ain't working.
Yeah. Wow. One of the things that occurs to me is when you're coaching football, you're coaching and the players are on the field without you. How has that experience translated into corporate America, if at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Your quarterback has to run the offense. You can call the play, but your quarterback has to execute. And of course, in Minnesota, that's a big thing because a lot of controversy around our quarterback play right now. Kevin's a great coach, but he's not on the field. So I think it's much like being a CEO.
Yeah.
I call plays. I don't call all the plays. I've got an incredible executive team, an incredible leadership team. We spent the whole day together yesterday. We laughed through most of it, most at each other, a little bit with each other. But really, there's a lovingly but intensely message that's going on. And I believe intensity is a good thing. So what we try to just build is people who can then run fast. They have clarity of role responsibility. The vision is clear. I don't waver on it. Here's where we're going. Now it's your job to go do this. It's your job. Go do this. Your job. Go do this. And then if you have questions, talk to each other. Don't talk to me. Because you each have your role and responsibility. Now go fast. And we'll talk about it next week. But I don't want you to come back saying we couldn't decide how to get along, so we just waited for you. That's not the right answer.
Yeah. What occurs to me is it's such a stark contrast to micromanagement. I'm curious what your experience with micromanagement has been, if at all.
Yeah, well, I don't micromanage. I refuse to. If I have to, then you're the wrong person. If you can't think for yourself, given the vision and the direction and clarity that you have, then you probably need to go somewhere else. I worked at Walmart, and I had 7 layers above me before you get to the CEO, and they all had their opinion where your stack base of cotton balls should be. Are you kidding me? I have 200,000 SKUs. We got 1,000 employees, and you're going to talk about where the cotton balls should be? So to me, it was a ludicrous losing proposition, but everyone felt like they had to add their value when in fact you had no value by micromanaging.
Yeah.
Go back to what's our vision? It's the client experience. It's all about customers. So if we're going to serve our customers, how do we do that best? We're safe, we're comfortable, we have assortment. Like that's what the message should be.
Yeah.
And then let your teams figure out the best way to execute, which is exactly how we operate.
Yeah. I love your comment about where do you add your most value? Where does that stem from, Chris?
Yeah. I think Dad was big about chain of command, again, military guy. And he did so many things. He's a concert trumpet player. He was a superintendent, grade administrator, brilliant. He was writing programming in 1980 for the school to run hot lunch and these other things. So what I learned from him is his skill set was great, but he never went and taught the math class for the math teacher. Like that's their job to do. Yeah. And so everyone had their job. Everyone had role responsibility. He created a very efficient construct. So my point is we're very lean. We do not waste. We have zero administrative assistants, none. I manage my own calendar. I manage my own Facebook. I manage my own LinkedIn, much to sometimes to Allie's chagrin. But I'm me, and we are very clear about that. Like we don't have if you need someone to do your work for you, then you might need to get a little bit more organized, or at least start digging into AI and figuring out how to let it help you. So again, but that's just my philosophy. I'm not saying how everyone else does it is right or wrong, but that's what we believe in.
That's a pretty radical take. I mean, it's fascinating to hear you have no administrative assistants out of your almost 500 employees.
No. Someone asked for one. I'm like, do you think I should have one? Well, yeah, you should have one. I don't have one, so no one else is. Like, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to own their trajectory, their calendar, their schedule.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
So you also have talked about owning your seat. I'd love to hear, where that phrase first came from and how you embody that and equip others to embody
That's a great one. When you brought it up, I'm like, it really has formed how I think. As a CEO at Northwest Partners, I'm not an insurance guy. But that's my seat. That's what I'm in. I own it every single day. But I learned that I was back at Burlington Northern Railroad, my first job out of Bethel. I was a math major. I was getting my MBA, and I was working in IT, at business development. I liked it. It was fun. And then basically everyone kind of gets, the leadership's all gone. And all of a sudden they bring in a consulting group. Charlie Feld was the guy's name, the Feld Group. And he brought in his team of consultants. I had no idea about even what an org chart was. I knew a football depth chart. That's all I understood. Org chart, why would I care? And Charlie comes in, knows nothing about anyone's projects, knows nothing about what's going on. And I sit in his first meeting, and he owned the room. And I'm like, this guy doesn't even know what we're working on. How can he be in full control? And that's the first time it hit me, is because that's his job. He is now the CIO of Burlington Northern Railroad. So it never left me. I learned what org charts meant after that, too, because it does matter, I guess. But it never left me that when you're in the seat, own it. Yeah. You no longer have the right to be insecure because there's a bunch of people that are counting on you to be good at your job. So figure out how to get better. Own it, step into it, lean into it, but you don't get a right to be insecure anymore. Can you be personally? Sure. And then when you get out of that seat and go, then work on yourself. But don't do it in front of that group who's counting on you to be that position.
Yeah. So powerful. You talked earlier about feedback, and I love your saying how silence is a killer. What's been some of the most helpful feedback that you've received?
Yeah, I've had a lot of great mentors in my life. And generally, I've always sought out these kind of older guys who are different from me. Like these older guys who are wise and patient, endearing qualities. Tom Porter, longtime head coach at St. Olaf. And he would always be careful to tell me what to do as a football coach. So we'd play cribbage, and then he would subtly drop in, Chris, late in the season where the sun sits at Carleton, you may want to consider kicking off from the left hash towards their right corner near the scoreboard. The sun sometimes causes problems. And I remember the way he said it was so subtly, but yet that's exactly what I did. And sure enough, the kid muffed the kickoff. So if you can find these mentors who will kind of speak to you in their way and not force you to be them, and I don't force them to be me, all of a sudden you start to glean so much knowledge, and their patience starts to become more of who I am. So I've never had, I would say, very in-your-face direct leadership work for me. That's not me. I'm pretty smart. I can read between the lines. I need people who are really smart and are willing to pour into me what their thoughts, their beliefs. Don't be impressed by me. I need people who love me and aren't impressed. So they're willing to say what they think.
Yeah.
Because my personality can make people feel like they can't. And I try to be very intentional. You absolutely can and you must.
Yeah. How have you gotten that feedback? You know, one of the things that's challenging about the CEO role is you really don't have any colleagues shoulder to shoulder with you. There's the power dynamic and the hierarchy. And you talked about how you try to be really open, but how have you found ways to get real honest feedback from your team?
Yeah. I mean, I make fun of myself a lot. I'm an easy target, really. But we lead through humor a little bit. Like, we make fun of each other a lot. And what I think that draws out is a chance to be sincere, be honest. You know, how am I helping you? How am I hurting you in your job? Like, what can I do to give you more opportunities to win? But I'm so intentional with them that it's not like they go a month without any interaction. So again, everyone gets their opinion. Everyone gets to say what they think. Most do.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. I'm an Enneagram 8. You know, I'm a change agent. I'm a charger. Yeah. I'm a snowplow, but I'm also very loving of my team. I'm lovingly intense is a good description of me. So for my 480, they're mine. Yeah. But if you leave me, I don't have a lot of capacity left to help you. It doesn't mean I'm mad. It's just I've got mine to take care of.
Yeah. I
have my wife and 3 great kids and 5 grandkids and one son-in-law and maybe another son-in-law coming. So you know, that's my team that I take care of.
Yeah. Your life is very full. So the 480 that you talk about, where was the organization when you first started?
It was about 80 people of 3 different tribes, and those tribes had 0 interaction.
3 different tribes. Talk about that.
Yeah. So C.O. Brown was purchased by Broad Street in 2007, Apollo Insurance St. Cloud 2009, and Johnson McCann St. Paul 2013. They had nothing to do with each other.
Wow.
And so when they created North Risk, the brand, it was those 3 being told you have to make a company.
Wow.
So again, we talk about culture. That's the first thing you have to do. When I came at 14 is you have to create one team.
Yep.
And the first thing you do as a head coach is you get your own logo on the helmet. You make sure that there's one logo that your team's brand's going to be, and you make sure every kid on campus wears it. Your old logo is gone. Your old T-shirts are gone. You're now playing on this team. And that was my first push, is to create the Northwest Partners brand rather than Apollo, C.O. Brown, Johnson McCann.
Wow.
Bought another great firm up north, Tooney, shortly thereafter. And so it was a migration. And again, you have to, you know, you might have the best surgeon ever, but if you kill the patient, you failed. So my job was to get that surgically maneuvered towards one team of Northwest Partners, creating a brand that everyone would recognize. And when we made that push, there's some controversy around it. And I had a carrier say to me, you know, Chris, no one knows who Northwest Partners is. And my response was, yet. You will. And sure enough, you know, now we're one of the largest in the Midwest. We have tremendous carrier relationships. We're probably number 1 in the state for a number of them. And so now everyone knows who Northwest Partners is.
Yeah. What was the biggest challenge with bringing those independent firms together under this one brand?
Ego. Yeah, ego. So there's some that had to leave. You know, there's some people that they couldn't believe in one team. They wanted to believe in their old brand. And so at some point you have to make a decision that, and that's why transition is sometimes hard, because founders sometimes have to go so everyone else can grow. But we did eloquent exits. It wasn't an acrimonious deal, not like some places. Because again, my deal is not my ego that has to get stroked. The North Risk has to prosper.
Right.
And so sometimes I would have to do things that I don't love doing, but it's the right thing for the company. And so that's what you do. Because I have a team that I'm responsible for. It's not me winning. Yeah, it's my team winning and the organization winning. So, you know, so from a business dealings, we don't even make close to a gray line. Like we don't. It's just sometimes you have to make deals that some people win that, you know, doesn't feel great. But if it's the right thing, it's the right thing.
Knowing the right thing is often the easy part. It's actually following through on that. How have you found, what keeps you moving through when there's so much friction and resistance?
Yeah, I'm sure you could tell my resolve isn't really an issue. I don't back down. I've just got fervently held beliefs.
Yeah.
Whether it's faith life or how I think we should run our government, how I think people should treat each other, fiscal policies. So I've got fervently held beliefs. My truth is rooted in God's word. So for me, that is the unwavering rock on which I stand. And so from that, hopefully there's fruits that people, as they understand, know me, they see.
Yeah.
And I would say the people who do my closest team, they do know that.
Yeah.
But I talk a lot about what winning looks like. And it's not just on the P&L. Each individual has to decide what winning looks like. What is your top priority? If it's your marriage, you better pour into it. Don't take it for granted. If it's your kids, then don't miss things, right? But you also have a job to do because your job's to serve your clients. So people have to learn to live in that. They talk about work-life balance. There is no such thing. You have got to be full send where you're at. Where your feet are on the ground, that's where you have to be. And so if you're at work, you have to be at work. You can't be worrying about things that you can't control. But when you're home, don't worry about work. Then be home. Be with your wife. Be with your kids. Like, be present there, and take your phone and turn it off so that you can be there. But when you're here, you got to be fully here. So I try to teach people, stop talking about work-life balance. There is no such thing as balance. It's full send wherever you are. So organize where you are, make it meaningful, make it impactful, and then get home.
Yeah. You've talked about helping people be their best self, and it's almost like a vocation of yours, as I've talked to you about that a few times. It's almost this unrelenting commitment to impact and sort of maximizing people's potential in a way. And I'd love to hear a story of how you could see potential in someone else that they couldn't yet see.
Oh, I've got so many. I'll take Kate McGinnity. Kate came to us, started when I started. She was hired to stuff binders. Communications major, had worked, as a bartender, working at Warner Stellian, we laugh about selling electronics. And what I saw in her quickly, brilliant, quick-minded, number of views on things, but very inquisitive, had a large desire to know. So I quickly moved her out of that into communications. Then Meidt said, now you're going to run communications. You're going to lead our branding efforts. And then within a little bit of time, she hired Allie, our first intern. And she had to convince me, like, Kate, you and I were good enough. We could do it. No, we have to. So pretty soon she started growing her wings where she would push back on me. And then within a few years ago, I realized I need to move her into a point of serious significance. Not that communications isn't, but where we're heading from a technology standpoint, I need someone who can see it. So created strategic initiatives 4 years ago, and no job description, because I really don't do that. It was more like, you're going to take us down this path of what the future is. And by then she had developed Allie fully ready. So you got to create some blue sky. You're going to be uncomfortable here, but Allie needs to grow into it. You got to give her the room to do it. But this is going to be a critical role into the future. Our leadership team yesterday, she dominated the meeting in a very positive way, good way. There was no one left in there that felt like she didn't have complete command over all lines of business, clarity of vision where we're going, how we're going to start integrating AI into every segment of our business, partnering with our CIO, who's brilliant. I mean, her mastery of all parts of the business was, for me, incredibly fun to watch. Just watching what she's become. And again, it's not my magical, but she always had it.
Yeah.
She just didn't know.
Yeah. And you gave her those opportunities to continue to grow into that blue sky.
And I coached her hard.
Yeah.
Coached her really hard. Yeah. So if you love someone, you are going to get the best out of them. If you don't, you're going to ignore them and just say, well, they didn't have what it took. Well, no, you didn't have what it took as a leader to get it out of them. And if they're not willing to be coached, then maybe they can't stay. If you can't say you want to be great and then say, but I don't want to coach, I don't want to get changed, I don't want anyone to really get in my business, that's not micromanagement. Challenging people to be their best is not micromanagement. It's loving them enough to care about their future, their career, their ability to make money for their family. That's what it is.
Yeah. And calling them up into that greatness.
Absolutely. You have to show them what they can become. You know, our CFO, Gretchen O'Brien's another great example. She was a bookkeeper when I came in 2014.
Wow.
And then they gave her a title of CFO on our first meeting. She goes, I don't even know what this means. Like what? What am I supposed to even do? And now if you look across all of the Broad Street cores, which are our capital partner, she's by far and away the best CFO they have.
Wow. So you talked about, I mean, you've been very successful at attracting talent and growing talent. For those listening, what are some of the key characteristics you look for or notice about the high performers?
I would say number one, if you want to attract them, you better be authentic. No one is drawn to a glossy, slick talking, tell them all the things you have. Nobody. So you better know who you are and then be able to authentically talk about who you are. But in terms of you finding talent, you better have if you're insecure, you won't attract one talented person in your entire career. And people think you're a fraud because you're insecure. You won't allow you to see greatness in someone else because you're always thinking, well, that's a measure against me. And I don't want them compared against me. But if you aren't, if you know who you are, then your quest in life is to find incredibly talented people and surround yourself with them. And it's equal joy for both because now you get to get better. Your saw gets sharpened, but for them, you get to give them an environment where they can soar because there isn't someone like knocking them down because they're worried. Oh, I don't want you to get too good, too popular. I want them all to blow the ceiling off. I mean, across the board. So I keep attracting talent and I keep moving people around. You know, that's one of the things President Trump, they talked to him about that. He's like, I like to adjust our teams a little bit because every now and again, I find a different dynamics more successful. Everyone wants to make a big deal if someone's getting fired. I realign us all the time. I mean, all the time. And our teams are starting to understand that's not because you're failing at what you're doing, but I have something that's next for you.
Yeah.
And early, I didn't communicate that. So I had to learn. People would be mad. And I'm like, what are you mad about? Well, why'd you fire me? Fire you from what? Oh, no, I'm just moving you. Like, this is what's next.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was obvious and it wasn't. So I've gotten better at that, of pre-telling them what's coming. But it's really, I'm migrating people into their next area of greatness.
Yeah.
Letting someone else get another opportunity because they're going to need that so I can get them over here in short order. But I think as a CEO, you got to have a head coach mindset. You've got offense, defense, special teams. You got free agents. You got the draft. You've got the salary cap. Like you have to manage all that. That's how you figure it out. And then you start to bring in people with great talent. And in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, what will they be? I've got a great acquisition I'm after right now. She is spectacular. She has no idea how great she'd be in our environment. She's starting to understand. But I'm already planning if I can get her on board, what that's going to mean for this team, who's going to slide over here, and how's this next group going to operate. And it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. You are very visionary. I mean, I experience it every time I talk to you. When did you discover that about yourself? Yeah,
I've always been able to see things. I used to think everyone could.
Yeah.
Like I thought people saw numbers in the air and
right.
And then all of a sudden my wife said, don't say that out loud. I'm like, I thought Beautiful Mind was a great show. What was weird about it? Stop, don't. But I kind of do. I kind of see things and I see how parts start to fit together.
Yeah.
People, personalities, role responsibility, line of business. So all those things start to come clear for me. And then when I start moving them around, that's being a football coach. Like I could see all 11 players at once. Like I could see the X's and O's move. I remember Joe Bugle, we're with the Redskins, and he's Hall of Fame O-line coach. He goes, Meidt, you can see all 11, can't you? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's not normal. I had never thought about it my entire life.
Yeah.
I really had. That I just mathematically know if this guy made the tackle or left tackle stepped wrong and he missed the cutoff block. Like, I just know that because you just know because of the scheme. So I think probably early on, I knew I was a little different. My son's at SpaceX, so it runs in the family. But I knew I was a little different that way, but I was always comfortable with it. I always thought it was cool.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great point because we don't know what we don't know. And if it's just your normal, it's easy to assume other people are similar. And then when you see that difference, you can understand what a superpower it is for you uniquely.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's been a great journey, like of self-discovery, what I'm really good at, what I'm not good at. I love when people give feedback of what they need to hear from me. We have our facilities person. She was out traveling the other day, and she sends me a little note. She goes, "Hey, this person mentioned they haven't seen you in a while." So I put in my calendar for next Tuesday, and I hit the road. I love that because what it's suggesting is that there's someone who wants some conversation, some discussion, a little touch. And so I did a three stops that day because someone suggested it. So again, I think that's part of the deal of leadership. Be open to hearing what people are saying without them having to be boldly direct. Like, why haven't you been there? It's just subtle. She just mentioned she hasn't seen you in a while. If people have to be very bold with you, they probably won't. If they can just be subtly suggest things and see you act on it, builds confidence, builds trust that you are listening.
Yeah. But it requires you to act on.
You have to act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your vision?
For North Risk, for me,
for both,
for my family.
Yeah.
My oldest has 5 beautiful grandkids. She is repopulating the world in a wonderful way.
What ages are your grandkids?
They're fabulous. Lillian turned 6. James is 4. Wow. The twins. I have twins. My wife and I have twins, and now our oldest has twins, Benny and Gloria.
And your oldest is not one of the twins, right?
No, my 31-year-old just left Space Force. Wow. She's a brilliant woman. She's fantastic. And she has had Francis Christopher. He just turned 2 months. Francis. And they moved cross country. So, wow. I mean, I love that interaction. I love watching them grow and parent as Evie starts moving down that path. Her twin brother, Alex, is at SpaceX, heads to Vietnam to open up the Starlink line over there. I would like him to work less and maybe find someone. So, that's a conversation for us.
How are you coaching him on that? For those parents out there.
I coach a lot. It's funny. My wife's like, "Oh, you can't be too intrusive. You have to let them." I'm like, "Yeah, no." They would wonder who took my dad. I'm very intrusive. And again, it's the same thing. We're going to have kind and respectful but challenging conversations. We don't have to agree, but we are going to have our points. Yeah. And so Evelyn's the one most like me. Okay. So that's back raising her. There's a lot. Fur was flying. The other 2, they're more like their mom. Praise the Lord. So, yeah, no, again, I'm pretty consistent. I don't live multiple lives. Yeah.
So you talked about your family. What about your vision for your own life?
Well, I love what I'm doing. In fact, I just had a call with Broad Street this morning, and we had that conversation. I've got another decade of where we're going to go. And this AI trajectory has me incredibly excited, incredibly excited. People are sick of it. In fact, I'm so into AI, I bought a Tesla. Wow. And I'm a gas guzzling V8 guy. I'm like, keep the V8 running, more green gas, better, warm this place up. It's a cold tundra here. But I am so enamored by Elon and his vision and the technology. Huh. And so I just got the latest download of 14.2, and it is spectacular. So I'm inspired driving to work. And by the time I get there, I'm talking to Kate and Eric, and anyone will listen. Like, we have to go faster. Like, what is possible is so much greater than what we've ever thought. Yeah. Like, the future is going to be spectacular. What a time to be alive.
What excites you about AI? I'd love to double click on that.
Well, you think about every action that we take that can be measured and that we can define, we can now turn into an agent. And Elon's rolling robots off by next summer. Like, Optimus is coming, and it's an AI machine. And so you start thinking about all of the possibilities of what we can do. And we talk about our business. How do we get to our clients better so that we have more time to have personal relationship with them instead of keyboarding and paper filing and chasing around after data that already exists? That has to come to an end. We have to be so client facing and so into what their life is so that we can react and how we build the coverage, how we build policies, how we can educate our carriers so they can be more important into the future in our clients' lives. Like, it has me absolutely excited about what's coming next.
Wow. That's incredible. So where is Northwest Partners going?
Well, I mean, we'll be a $200 million firm, but it's not just because of that number, but it's inevitable. We are going to continue acquiring great people, great firms. We are going to keep investing in next generation talent. We're going to keep investing in infrastructure. And I'm not going anywhere. So the sense of urgency, that hasn't waned. Yeah. So we're ready for what's next. And so again, I'm not going anywhere. It's my favorite job I've ever had. It's my last job. This is it. My wife says, you'll coach again someday. I'm like, I'm coaching every day. It's just a different sport. And it, by far, again, it's my favorite job. But I love my wife. So I like spending time with her. I like to go on golf trips with her. I like to spend time with her. So, I mean, we have pretty good measure of when I'm here, I'm all in. But I also disappear with her for a week, and we just enjoy our time together and travel. And so for me, it's the right place in my life, right time.
Yeah.
Empty nesting is a beautiful thing, but you better invest in your relationship with your spouse before you get there.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm. Probably the best you might hear today.
You talked about acquiring great people, great firms. Can you talk about maybe an acquisition that didn't go well or didn't go as planned?
Yeah, so they all work. It's just a matter of how long it takes. Some day one are spectacular. Sometimes it takes till about year 4 to get it there.
Wow.
And so, I misjudge from time to time. We all do. I would say of the 52 deals, we've had 3 or 4 that were very challenging. And again, it goes back to ego. You're buying a founder, and I know it's hard. But I'm very clear, as you can imagine, up front what the expectations are and how it's going to happen. I don't overpay. So I pay very fair market. I mean, we really do. And if they earn it, they get paid a lot more.
Yeah.
So we're a meritocracy, certainly. And so, again, sometimes there's not great hearing of the messaging. I sometimes fail to communicate it well. But we've gotten better over time. We really have, of how we execute it. But there is challenging. And sometimes if people lie to you, there's nothing you can do. There's no due diligence you can do in the world to find it. You can't find it. So once you get in, you find it, then you solve it. You don't whine about it. You don't complain about it. You put your things together. You take care of them. Whatever you have to do, they're gone. We protect the employees, we protect the clients, and we keep moving.
Yeah.
Again, no rearview mirror. We don't go back, we shoulda, coulda. No. We made the decision, made the call, and the best information we had. They lied to us. They're duplicitous. We're going to solve that. Off we go again.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from some of those really challenging acquisitions?
You could be down 21.5 and it doesn't matter. I mean, you keep playing. And so the lesson I learned from that, I learned that lesson when I was 16 years old playing for my dad. Like, you don't stop, you don't quit, you don't feel sorry for yourself, just complete the next pass. And you do it enough times, pretty soon you have a comeback. So I learned it when I was 16, so when I was 46, it wasn't that big a deal. That's just how you're going to deal with it. Next play. Fix it, move on. Don't, too many people, and I would say leaders, we feel sorry for ourselves. We think, oh gosh, no one knows how tough we have it. Don't lie to yourself. Everyone has something going on in their life. Everybody. We're not special. I lost my dad. It was a hard summer for me. A lot of people have lost their dad. It's good. I mean, wallow in it. The more joy will come in the morning, but you're still got morning. So mourn it, live it, but still show up for your teams, but then live life with them. It's okay that they know I'm sad.
Yeah.
So it was a great time of life. I'd say just that next day, next step, don't pretend it doesn't exist, but now grow and get better your next day. Like I think it's a life message for all of us. Everyone has something. Everyone. So don't assume you're special just because you have something. Everyone's got something. Yeah. So live life together, support them, encourage them. Don't change. Don't feel sorry for people. That doesn't help them. Yeah. It doesn't help them. You still challenge them. You still hold them accountable, but you walk life with them in the midst of what they're going through.
What was the most helpful thing that got you through that challenging summer of losing?
I mean, my relationship with the Lord, my relationship with my wife. I have so many wonderful friends who dad impacted. I probably heard from 400 or 500 people by the time it was done. He lived an incredible legacy-filled life. So it wasn't even a question of getting through. It was just, when would I, maybe be a little happier.
Yeah. And how long did that take for you?
I would say getting to the fall, because fall is when we're together a lot. So I would say getting to the fall was a good step. And by the time the fall was over, I felt like we're good to go.
Now, I know what a huge influence your dad had on who you are and how you lead. and also just a great mentor in your life. And I know people who have lost great mentors, sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes not. How have you found ways to kind of fill the void that leaves?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier, my wife and my 3 kids and my 5 grandkids, so dad passed away and 6 months later, Frankie's born, so literally 6 months later. So I think we're all called to move forward. I mean, that is, again, we're called to keep going, and you have to let the Lord work through it. Don't rush through it. Let the Lord work through it. And so for me, that's what it really was. It was a great time of transition into what's next, and really is a joyful time. I mean, I spent so much time. I kept track of all the things he taught me for a while, and I got to 100 and I quit. I'm like, well, at least I know he taught me 100 things how to do. So, I mean, that's just a neat way to reflect and be thankful and have gratitude in the midst of something that's challenging. But it's, again, a lot of people go through it. So just share it, walk through life with people, and it should reinvigorate you. It should be a time of gratitude of what's next. And I'll see him again. I'll still beat him in backgammon and still beat him in cribbage. Like, those things won't change. Just because in heaven, still not going to win. So, I mean, there's just that time of life that I consider it a joy to go through. And yeah.
That's beautiful. What do you think one of the biggest challenges, switching gears here a little bit, of being a CEO in 2026 is?
We went through COVID. And so we had a bunch of kids who didn't go to school, whether you're high school, college. They didn't. They turned in assignments whenever they wanted. And they came out thinking that is what the work world's like, and it's not. I do the final interview still on everyone we hire. And my whole point is understanding they need a Coach Meidt time. Here's what life's going to be like. And you have to be ready to go at it full send. This world is not about you. And it's not about you turning in an assignment when you feel comfortable. That's not about your comfort. We're about serving each other, which means you come last. If I'm going to serve me, this is not the right place for you to go. So I think that was a challenge. I think we're through it. Because
do you think we're through that?
Well, we are. The kids we're talking to now they are sick of that stuff. They're sick of those people that talk like that. They're sick of people who are selfish. They want to achieve greatness. So our message resonates with them. So that was a hard part. That's still a hard part. We had this little surge where people thought they could work wherever they want, when they thought this whole remote work is here to stay. I'm like, that's maybe the most stupid commentary I've ever heard. Nothing is forever. It's a pendulum, and it swung all the way over here. And then we had, we're short on talent. People, we need to let them do whatever they want. And my answer is no, we don't. We have the North Risk Way, and it's great. And it's going to be the North Risk Way. And the North Risk Way is together. We go through it together. We're in the office. We're not leaving the office. We never did. And we've believed in our philosophy. We haven't changed. And so I think that's part of the challenge is people waver. They give in. They bend the knee to things that aren't right. And I won't do it. And again, I think our company appreciates my fervently held belief. Whether they agree with me on everything doesn't matter. They don't waver. They don't wonder. I wonder what Chris would be like today. They know. It's going to come client first. Everyone you're working with second, you're last. So giddy up.
Yeah.
But I think there still is challenges with, you asked about the CEO job. Those who haven't embraced fully the idea of technology and AI innovation in technology are already behind, way behind. I hired my CIO 4 years ago. We moved Kate into her role 4 years ago. We just hired our first AI data architect. I asked him, why did you come to us? He goes, Chris, you're the only job opening in insurance for an AI data architect. I'm like, really? Wow. We are the only one in the Twin Cities hiring an AI data architect. I couldn't believe it. I thought there must be 20 firms out there doing it. We were it. Cool. So I think being bold in those type of things and understanding how you make decisions in the best interest of your company, which then is in the best interest of each of your people. If you flip that, you won't survive. So if you're like, I don't know about AI, it might take Susie's job, you're done. It's over. Susie's only going to lose her job if she doesn't adopt to AI. So AI won't take her job, but it'll certainly take her job if she doesn't use AI in her job.
How do you feel about the changes that we're seeing as a result of AI?
How do I feel about it? I don't really have a feeling. I really don't. It just is.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you feel about a snowstorm? It just is. I mean, you get out and shovel.
Yeah.
Like AI is here. We have passed the event horizon.
Yep.
I'm a Star Trek fan. You know, the Star Trek Enterprise gets towards that black hole. Once it crosses, it's done. So it always gets away. You know, always goes the other direction. But AI is over.
Yeah.
We've passed the event horizon. It's gone. So you better swim towards it.
Yeah.
It's like not tsunami, but a big wave coming in. If you're a surfer, you better swim towards it so you can ride it. If you go away from it, it's going to bury you.
Yeah.
It will pull you out to sea and dump you. And that's AI. If you won't swim towards it and embrace it, it's going to swallow you up and you're going to wonder, whoa, gee, that's not a very nice thing. AI just is AI. I interviewed a student the other day and I asked her about it. And she said, well, as long as it's ethical. I said, what's ethical? Well, I mean, you shouldn't just type something in and then just cut and paste. I'm like, why not? I said, what if it answers the question that you're trying to solve? Well, I mean, you should have to put something else into it. Well, why? Well, you're taking someone else's work. I'm like, whose? Like, so these are the point. This is my question. Like, we have to ask about 16 questions. We can't just flippantly say, well, it's unethical. What's unethical about it?
Yeah.
You need to have discernment. So our communications team's using AI prompts now every day. Their job is to discern now what comes out of it. Mm-hmm. Is your prompt incorrect, or does it have the wrong voice, or is it inaccurate? Mm-hmm. You better fix that. And then you keep working through your prompting until it gets there. Yeah. I love writing. I've been writing with Grok for the last couple months now. It's ridiculous. But Grok is learning my tone and how I write and my humor. And it's mostly sarcastic. And so as we start working through it, it's getting a better understanding. I'm embracing it. I didn't grow up with computers. But to leave my entire company vulnerable to what's coming.
Right. Yeah.
So being uncomfortable is okay.
Yeah. And it's probably your Enneagram 8 coming out, but I hear the excitement.
For sure. I am absolutely fired up about it.
Yeah. Amazing. Final question. If I'm a professional out there looking to sort of level up and get better and add more value to the organization that I'm working for, what would be your parting words of advice, Chris?
Find a mentor who's going to tell you the truth. Don't find a bunch of people who tell you everything you want to hear. I learned this early with my wife. I used to solve every problem because I'm an 8. And she's like, why do you keep so irritating? I'm like, what's irritating? Like, you're telling me what's your problem and I'm solving it. She goes, I want you to solve it. So I came up with this. I'm like, okay, how about we do this? Do you want me to be your husband? Do you want me to be your boyfriend, or you want me to be your girlfriend? So if you want me to be your girlfriend, I'm going to say, I can't believe that's happening to you. It's so terrible. Like, I mean, that's just awful. You want me to be your boyfriend? You know, I think you're amazing. You're beautiful. You're smart. Whatever you think. I mean, you're right. Or you want to be your husband? Okay, honey, let's look at this from both sides. Yeah. Like, let's just think what's accurate, what's true, what's emotional. What do you want? And she goes, most of the time I don't want you to be my husband. A boyfriend, a girlfriend, somewhere in there. Well, the takeaway was that if you want to grow, you better have the husband relationship. Someone who's going to tell you the truth, going to love you unconditionally, but going to tell you the truth. Yeah. Because if people truly want to level up, guess what? It's really hard. It's easy to get to 80%. You can maybe even get to 90 on your own. Read enough Ryan Holiday books. I mean, but you get to there, you better get coached hard to get that last increment. That's going from being a controller to the CFO. That's going from being a team lead to running the program. Like, it's way different. And so be careful what you wish for. It's easy to say, but if you really want to be great, you better be ready for intense coaching and then find someone who will give it to you. Embrace it, run towards it. Don't run away from it. If all you want to hear is good things, don't aspire to be great. Yeah. So powerful. Thank you for that. And thank you for all your wisdom and perspective today. Yeah, really fun. Thank you so much. It was great having you here. And thanks to our listeners. Join us next week on Leadership Matters. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Leadership Matters. If today's episode resonated with you, would you do me a favor and share it with someone you care about? To learn more about the work the Bailey Group is doing in the world, check us out at thebaileygroup.com or follow us over on LinkedIn. We love sharing useful articles, helpful resources, and valuable tools to help you expand your leadership capacity. Like and subscribe, and join us next time for more honest conversations.